Hey all, Amanda here with your final recap for American Ninja Warrior Season 10, the Stage 2 and 3 results. Stage 2 consisted of 6 obstacles that started with the epic catch and release. Competitors had to jump and grab the first bar, then generate enough swing and momentum to reach and hook its support bar to the post. From there, they had to make the transition to the second bar and then jump to the landing platform. Next, it was the crisscross salmon ladder, where competitors had to jump up the first 3 rungs of the first wall set, then jump across to the second wall set, and jump up 2 more rungs. They then must jump back across to the first wall set, jump up 2 more rungs, and then make the transition to the déjà vu. In a new obstacle, the déjà vu consisted of 2 bars attached by ropes on both ends. Contestants must grab the first bar, unhook it from the first set of cradles, then ride the bar, hook it onto the third set of cradles, then must grab the other bar which is locked in, hook onto the second set of cradles, unhook it, and then grab the bar and ride it to the landing platform. Next was the swing surfer, where competitors must make a run-up and leap to a pendulum, which was 13 feet away. Then they must work their way around the pendulum and jump off to a rope which was 12 feet away from the pendulum. Competitors had to climb up using the rope and finally drop down to the landing platform. Then, in Wingnut Alley, competitors had to jump from a trampoline and grab the first wingnut, which was perpendicular to the trampoline. Then they must swing horizontally to grab the second wingnut, which was 11 feet away from the first. After that, they must swing again and grab a third wingnut, which was perpendicular to the second, causing competitors to switch their momentum. Then they must repeat the task to the fourth wingnut, which was also perpendicular to the third wingnut, once again causing competitors to switch their momentum. Then they swing 12 feet to the landing platform, and then to the water walls. In the first ever water event, water walls consisted of a swimming tank divided into 3 sections. Each section had a plexiglass-made wall in the middle, and the wall had a door placed in the water. Competitors had to swim and dive on the first half of the first section to reach a door and open it to reach the second half of the first section. Then they must repeat the same process for the next 2 sections and finally climb up a small wall to reach the buzzer. Competitors had 4 minutes and 30 seconds to complete the course, and only those who hit a buzzer would advance to Stage 3. Of the 30 competitors to take on Stage 2, Catch and Release saw Jake Murray's chance at advancing end after an unfortunate hang-up. The crisscross salmon ladder took out Lucas Real, whose run was cut, Jonathan Stevens, whose run was cut, Angel Rodriguez, whose run was cut, Adam Rail, and Nicholas Coleridge, whose run was cut. In one of the first of 2 new events, Déjà Vu took out Austin Gray, Dan Palizzi, whose run was cut, Thomas Stillings, whose run was cut, Hunter Gerard, whose run was cut, Mike Myers, whose run was cut, Mike Murray, whose run was cut, Casey Shukaki, whose run was cut, Tyler Gillette, whose run was cut, astoundingly Daniel Gill, and Eric Middleton, whose run was cut, but in a short playback saw him smash his face on the bar and end his run with a bloody nose. No one fell on the swing surfer, but the Wingnut Alley took out Chris Wachowski, whose run was cut, RJ Roman, Zach Day, Josh Salinas, Drew Knopp, whose run was cut, Brian Burkhart, whose run was cut, Carson Voles, whose run was cut, Ethan Swanson, whose run was cut, Josh Levin, whose run was cut, Jamie Ron, and Mathis Kidawati. And lastly, in the second new event, the water walls, saw Najee Richardson just run out of time after the last wall. He was resting on the landing platform, but did not have time to climb up and hit the buzzer. Sean Bryan finished the course with 21.70 seconds left, and Drew Dreschel finished with 38.65 remaining. They were the only 2 competitors to complete Stage 2 and advance to Stage 3. Stage 3 consisted of the floating boards, where 5 boards hang from the scaffolding above, and competitors must grasp and navigate across until they reach the landing platform. Then, in a new event, On guard, competitors must slide a bar across 3 broken tracks, jumping a gap between the first and second track and the second and third tracks, then swing to the landing and onto the crazy clocks. Competitors must turn the handles on the first clock-shaped pivot, then make the transition to the handles on the second clock-shaped pivot, then turn its handles in the same process as the first pivot, and finally make the dismount to the landing platform. Then, in my favorite obstacle, the ultimate cliffhanger, competitors must use their fingertips to crawl across ledges across a wall of varying heights and widths, forcing competitors to make jumps back and forth between the walls. Next is the curved body prop, where competitors must wedge themselves between 2 wall panels and cross 5 meters while facing downwards with their hands on one panel and their feet on the other. Next is peg cloud, which consists of a series of boxes which contain footholds and peg holes arranged downwards, with 2 pegs that competitors must hold on to and traverse downwards to the poles using the footholds and peg holes. Next is cane lane, where competitors must move a cane across 2 tracks with a gap between the tracks. The first track is S-shaped and has a stopper to overcome. The second track was placed slightly to the left and has its first part straight, while its second part was angled downwards with 2 pegs to overcome. Then lastly is the flying bar, a horizontal version of the salmon ladder. Competitors must negotiate down a track by jumping from one cradle to another while holding onto a pipe. Sean Bryan reached the ultimate cliffhanger in 1 minute 28.64 seconds, but fell on the last transition between walls. However, Drew Dreshel got to the ultimate cliffhanger faster, arriving in 1 minute 2 seconds even, winning $100,000 for making it the furthest the fastest, a new feature added this season. So there are your results for the final stages of American Ninja Warrior Season 10. Everyone gave it their all, and hopefully you can look for your favorites to return next year to try it again. Were you surprised with the results? I myself had several shocked moments throughout the season, like Flip Rodriguez and Joe Moravsky going out on stage 1, and was saddened at some of the heartbreaking moments, like Najee Richardson fighting to finish. But there were some great moments too, like Jamie Run jumping out of his shoe only to advance, and Drew Dreshel's years of hard work finally paying off as he takes home $100,000. I hope everyone out there watching enjoyed the show as much as I did, and that you all liked the recap and prediction videos I had brought you throughout. Let me know what your favorite parts of the show were, and what parts really stood out for you, whatever the reason. Leave a comment below sharing your highlights from this season. Until next time, bye for now.